Howdy, everybody. I want to make a quick video on what to do with an income tax return or a bonus or some small windfall you might be experiencing of money. These things don't come along often enough. I'm in my early 50s, and I've had a few of these, and I'll be honest with you, in my youth, I've blown a few of them. Not necessarily just foolishly, not like take a vacation or whatever, but some things we kind of wanted or needed, but we bought a little bit more than we should have, things of that nature. And you get to this age and you kind of see some of that. Nothing was ever completely blown or spent improperly, but the benefit of time gives you some insight and wisdom you just didn't have back in the day. I wanted to address that real quick. A lot of people are getting their income tax returns, and a lot of larger companies where their fiscal year actually does end at the end of the year. Right now, they're paying those bonuses out and things. And this has come along. I've actually talked with a few people about it. And I know this channel is the Incidental Outdoorsman. And believe me, my focus, if I had to sit and take my choice or preference of what I'd talk about, it would be about fishing or hunting or off-roading, something we started to do recently and such. But I wanted to address this real quick. Being especially this age that I am right now, everything starts making a lot more impact financially. I could probably retire in as little as 10 years. I don't think I will, but I'd like that option anyway. And this is kind of an essence to talk about folks who have really been trying to do some of the right things. There are so many folks out there, they just make the worst possible financial decisions and sit back and say, why me? Woe is me. Well, you didn't really put in the hard yards when you should have. We've put in a lot of hard yards, and no, I'm not a millionaire. Hope to be at some point in the future. But when you get to this point, or even if you're younger and you're getting a couple of bucks, I read all these articles and I see a lot of YouTube videos on financial advice, and it's always clickbait. It's this, the market's going to crash, you're going to lose everything, so do this. And then they actually never even tell you what it is they intend to do. And that's not it. I don't make any money off of YouTube. I frankly don't have any plans to. But I hope this reaches somebody to say none of those videos apply to everybody. This one won't, but I'm trying to be a bit more broad here. So again, income tax return, let's get around to that, or bonus. Again, like I said, bonuses are based on folks that their fiscal year ends in January, and they usually pay out somewhere before or right at Q2, second quarter. I've worked a bunch of different firms and such, and that's more or less the case. And a ton of people don't get some $50,000 or whatever bonus, but they get a few bucks and they kind of want to know what to do with it. I saw a thing a little bit ago on a gal that said online, she had this really nice video, not like this, where it's just a dude with his hair barely combed, but pay off your house ASAP. That's the best thing you can do. And I put a question in there and I said, that's fantastic. But if you have money in the market, and that money, let's just say it increases to that 7-8% the market does. You got to pay tax on that 7-8%, mind you. But you don't have to pay a tax every year to keep that original investment. A house, you do. It may increase in value and it may not. The market almost always, over a long spread of time, increases in value. And I get that houses do too, but try not paying that income tax, or sorry, the real estate tax on your house a couple of years. Let me know how long that asset maintains your name on it. You won't own it too long. They will take it. So you're literally paying to maintain an asset, whereas in the market, that money that you made on whatever that 7-8% was over time, or more in many cases, you got to pay money on that, pay taxes on that money that it grew, but you don't have to pay to keep your original investment. So I think that's good advice for some people. It's not good advice for us. Our house payment is really low. We got a great interest rate, really low back in the day, in the 3 or something like that. So for us, the little bitty payment we have wouldn't be worth cutting loose a couple $100,000. $1,000 a month would take a long time to grow into a couple $100,000 to really make it worth it. So we ain't doing that. It doesn't make any financial sense at all. I guess if we had $5 million sitting around, sure, that would be a good idea, but we don't, right? We're just normal folks who have been saving forever. One thing I will say about this small windfall concept is if you have any unsecured debt, meaning not a house loan or a car loan, just like credit card debt. First of all, don't do that. It's just about the dumbest thing you can do. We use credit cards and we pay them off monthly, and we get points at, our favorite outdoor store or whatever. But it's just the best way to absolutely throw your wealth away. You need to ask yourself why you're even using temporary credit and debt like this. It doesn't make an iota of sense. Something that does apply, though, is people need cars. You have to get places, and this is kind of the core of this. We've got a car. My wife has a car that I think there's like $15,000, $17,000 remaining owed on it, and we saved up money beyond our normal budget, and that car payment's almost $500 a month. So you owe less than $20,000, something like 15 grand, and you get, let's just say, an income tax return. You can pay that off, and it frees up $500 a month. Not only does it free that $500 up a month, but now you're not paying that 6 or 7%, which is what car loans have been for a little while now, that you could be making theoretically on the market, right? So let's just say you pay that car off. Now you freed up an extra $500 a month. The better thing to do is to go ahead and stick it in savings if you don't have any. But if your savings is up to where you need to be, put that in the market. Get cost averaging going for you. Even if we're going like this, and right now with this Iran thing, yeah, the market is, it's taken a dump, no doubt whatsoever. But cost averaging in essence means you take your $500 a month, you invest that in whatever, a good target date fund, a NASDAQ index, or whatever it may be, some sort of index fund. Over the course of a couple of years, that'll really pay you back, because every month you're buying at highs, you're buying at lows, you're getting a nice average, and you're getting that growth in between those highs and lows. So I would encourage you, think long and hard before you take any advice on the internet. Everybody's situation is different. Ours is most certainly different, like anybody else's. We're not in terrible shape. We're not millionaires either. Some things just make a little bit more sense than others, but weigh it out. Always make sure you're paying as little interest out as you can, and you're getting as much interest back as you can. That is advice you can take to the bank, literally.